Assalamu alaikum students. I hope you all are doing good. Welcome to your biology session number 4. In today's session, we are going to study about the blood vessels and the cardiovascular disorders in detail. Blood vessels. Now the third part of the circulatory system are blood vessels. The first two parts we have already discussed in our previous sessions. Blood vessels, the important vessels that can carry the blood from the heart and again supply them back towards the heart are following. For example, number one are the arteries, two veins, and the third one is capillaries. As you can see in the diagram, this blue vessel, which is very thin, is the vein. It carries the blood back toward the heart. Now this divides to form venule, which again divides to form smaller branches known as the capillaries. Now these capillaries join together to form a large vessel which is known as arteriole, and arteriole further join together to form the mother vessel which is known as the artery, which carries the blood from the heart. Now we can see a general comparison between the blood vessels. Now the arteries are the one that carry the bloods away from the heart. Veins carry the blood towards the heart. Capillaries are actually the site of exchange of material. Now generally the pressure is very high in arteries and low in veins and capillaries. Lumen diameter is usually narrow in arteries while wide in veins because it has to send the blood to the heart, and in capillaries it is extremely narrow because capillaries are very thin. They are usually one cell thick. Wall thickness in the arteries is thick as it is carrying the blood away from the heart. Veins have very thin walls. For example, as we are talking about the blood which is being sent towards the heart, therefore they have to possess a thin wall. Capillaries, they are only a single cell thick. We have already discussed that. Now walls layer in arteries and veins, there are 3 layers each, whereas in capillaries only one layer, that is tunica intima, is present. As far as the arteries and veins are concerned, they consist of 2 extra layers known as tunica media and tunica intima and tunica adventitia. Muscle and elastic fibers in arteries are in large amounts, while small in veins and usually none in capillaries. In case of arteries, there is no valve present, but in case of veins, there are vessels present which prevent the backward flow of blood, and in capillaries again, there is no valve present. Blood circulatory system. Now, blood circulatory system has been described by many of the scientists, out of which Ibn Nafis was the first who described the pathway of blood circulation. William Harvey described the pumping action of heart and the pathway of blood in the major arteries and veins. Now, there are 2 systems of circulation. First one is the arterial system, which comprises of all the arteries carrying the blood away from the heart, like the one carrying the blood leaving the left ventricle of heart is carried by the large artery, which is aorta, which is the mother artery. It ascends to form the aortic arc and descends inferiorly into body as well. The upper aortic arc emerges to form 3 more arches to supply the blood to head, shoulders and arms. As it passes down through thorax, it becomes dorsal aorta. The second system is venous system. Some of the important veins are discussed here, like pulmonary veins returns the oxygenated blood to the left atrium, femoral vein carrying the blood from the calf, foot and joined together to form the femoral vein, iliac vein carries the blood from the legs, hepatic vein carries the blood from the liver, renal vein carries the blood from the kidney, gonadal vein carries the blood from gonads, whereas the superior vena cava is formed by the veins from the heads, shoulders and arms. Inferior vena cava, which is on the lower side, is formed by the different veins which are carrying the blood from the legs towards the heart. Now, we will look at some of the veins and arteries to understand how they are supplying the blood towards the heart and carrying it back towards our body systems. Look over here. This is the one which, this one is the artery which is carrying the blood towards the heart. Now this artery is being originated from this aortic arc, which is originating from the aorta, as you can see in this diagram, which is the mother artery. This in the arm, this is the artery that is emerging from the arm. Now the one which is carrying the blood away from the kidney is known as the renal artery. As you can see the kidney over here. The one which is carrying the blood away from the from the legs, as you can see over here, these are the iliac arteries. Iliac arteries divide to form two more arteries which are known as the femoral arteries. Now in the same way, the veins which are originating from the superior vena cava, as you can see, this is the superior vena cava, it divides to form the arc that is supplying the blood, that is carrying the blood actually from the heart. This one is the vein from the arm which is present in the arm region. This one, the blue one, this is the inferior vena cava, which means that all the lower parts of the body are emptying its blood into this inferior vena cava. Now the one which is originating from the kidney is the renal vein, and the one which are originating from the digestive system of our body are the mesenteric arteries. This vein which is present in the legs, in the thigh region, is the iliac vein, which divides again to form two further branches which are known as the femoral veins. Now next are the cardiovascular disorders, which refers to the disease involving the heart and blood vessels. Now these diseases have similar causes, sometimes mechanisms and treatments. The first one is arteriosclerosis, which is most commonly known as the hardening of arteries. It is the diffuse process by which the muscle fibers and endothelial lining of the walls of small arteries and arterioles become thickened. Now what is actually the reason? Reason behind this is the deposition of some material, or it may be the nutrient from the heart, and rest of the body become thick and stiff, resulting in the stiffening of our tissues and organs. Healthy arteries are flexible and elastic, but over time the hardening results in arteriosclerosis. The second one is atherosclerosis, which refers to the buildup of fats, cholesterol and other substances in the artery walls, also known as plaque. It resists the blood flow, thus causing severe damages. The main causes of arteriosclerosis are, for example, arteries are the blood vessels that carry the blood and oxygen and nutrients from our heart to the rest of the body. As we get older, fats, cholesterol and calcium may deposit in our arteries and form plaque. This results in atherosclerosis. As you can see in the diagram, this is the normal human artery with a normal lumen, but over here there is a deposition of different type of material like lipids, calcium, forming the cellular debris. It results in swelling and in return the narrowing of the lumen of our artery. Now if we compare the two conditions, arteriosclerosis, thickening of the inner wall of the artery results, but in case of atherosclerosis, there is a deposition of different materials or plaques, which results in narrowing of our arteries. Third one is myocardial infarction. Myocardial infarction is generally known as the heart attack, which is caused by the reduced blood flow in the coronary artery due to atherosclerosis, or it may be due to an embolus or thrombus, which means that the formation of plaques. Myocardial infarction or the acute heart attack results when one of the arteries supplying the blood to the heart muscles become blocked. Blockage can be due to atherosclerosis or due to the clot formation. It results in the permanent tissue damage. As you can see in this diagram, it results in the death of the heart tissue and thus causing myocardial infarction. Now there are certain treatments for it. For example, for the immediate treatment, we supply oxygen or aspirin to the patient, or the sublingual tablet like glyceryl trinitrate. The second method is angioplasty, which is the mechanical widening of narrowed or obstructed blood vessels. The third one, the most famous one, is the bypass surgery, in which the arteries or veins from elsewhere of the patient's body are grafted to the coronary arteries to improve the blood supply of the heart. Angina pectoris. Angina pectoris means chest pain. It is not the severe heart pain. The main reason can be any of the reasons that we have already discussed previously. In angina pectoris, severe pain may occur in the heart and often in the left arm and shoulder. It is a warning sign that blood supply to the heart muscles is not sufficient but shortage enough to cause the tissue death. Now that's all for our today's session. Hope you have enjoyed our biology sessions. Keep learning and keep reading these articles from your books as well. Thank you.